Ozzie and Harriet is truly one of the best remembered series of the 1950s. Ozzie Nelson and Harriet Hilliard, with sons Ricky and David, provided America with a weekly glance into that ideal middle-class family life that never existed in the real world. In one of TV's longest-running comedies, we watched the boys grow up, go to high school, college, get married, and in Ricky's case, become a rock and roll star. For most of the show's 14-year run, nearly all of the episodes took place at the family home, a two-story colonial at 822 Sycamore Road in mythical Hillsdale, USA. It appeared Ozzie never worked. Harriet kept an immaculate house, a la June Cleaver. No problem was so serious it couldn't be solved within the family. The house used for the set was an exact replica of the Nelsons' real home in Beverly Hills, California.
And now, the makers of Hot Point Home Appliances are happy to bring you a repeat performance of one of the best-liked of The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, starring the entire Nelson family. Here is Ozzie, who plays the part of Ozzie Nelson. And, of course, his lovely wife, Harriet, as Harriet Nelson. The older of the Nelson boys, David, appears as David Nelson. And his younger brother, the irrepressible Ricky, played by Ricky Nelson. The Nelson's next-door neighbor, Thorny, is played by Don DeFore. Isn't this a beautiful day? The birds are singing and there's a light, balmy breeze blowing. It's a happy kind of a day. Oh, here come David and Ricky. For some reason, they don't look particularly happy. I wonder what's wrong.
Here's the stuff from the bakery, Mom.
Oh, thank you, fellas. Did you have any trouble?
No, ma'am.
That darn Will Thornberry.
Quiet, Ricky.
What the heck? It makes the guy sore.
Mom?
Hmm?
Have you seen that old tub we used to slide down the hill in?
No, dear, I don't believe so. That darn Will Thornberry. What seems to be the trouble? Will Thornberry.
It's just something personal, Mom. We're trying to find the tub.
That gosh darn Will Thornberry. What on earth is the matter with Will, and what do you want with that old wash tub?
We want it for something special.
Yeah, we're going to fill it with water and make a booby trap. A booby trap? What for? For that gosh darn Will Thornberry.
What seems to be the trouble, fellas? We were just looking for that old wash tub, Pop.
They're going to play some sort of a trick on Will Thornberry.
What kind of a trick?
We're going to soak him with water.
Well, I thought Will was one of your best friends. Yeah, so did we.
Some people sure do change, boy. What's the matter? You guys mad at Will?
Yes, ma'am, kind of.
What do you mean, kind of? I'm fighting mad, boy.
Now, what seems to be the big difficulty between you and Will all of a sudden?
Will's having a birthday party tomorrow, and he didn't invite us. Oh, so that's it.
Yeah, fine friend he turned out to be.
Well, I think you've got this all wrong. I'm sure Will's birthday isn't until next Tuesday.
That cake's gonna get awful stale by Tuesday.
Cake? Yeah, we saw it down at Humphrey's Bakery.
Yeah, Mr. Humphrey said it was for the Thornberrys.
Well, maybe it wasn't for Will's birthday. Well, sure it was, Mom. It had candles on it. We saw it. Well, now, look, wait a minute. Suppose Will is having a birthday party. Nobody can say he has to invite you guys. Try me, Mom. I can say it.
Let's get the facts straight here. Will didn't tell you he was having a birthday party, did he?
He didn't have to, Pop. We saw the cake.
Well, before you declare war on him, don't you think you ought to find out for sure? There could be a mistake, you know. There sure was a mistake, and Will made it, boy.
I think you guys are acting pretty childish about this whole darn thing. Will isn't obligated to invite you to his party, you know. Does he have to ask you over every time he celebrates a special occasion?
No, sir.
Just every time he celebrates with ice cream and cake.
Well, I still don't see what you're going to prove by playing some silly trick on him.
Well, it's not exactly a trick on him. We're just going to tie a big bucket of water on the tree out back.
Yeah, and then we're going to tie the rope to the post and camouflage it.
And he'll only get wet if he happens to come on our property.
Yeah, like if I happen to call him over.
Sure.
Well, you better forget all about it. I'm surprised at you guys. You can't go through the rest of your lives being mad at people just because they don't arrange things to suit you. After all, if Will didn't invite you to his party, he probably has a very good reason.
Besides, it could be a misunderstanding all the way around, you know.
Instead of being mean to him, be kind to your little neighbor. Call him over to play with you. That's the way to do things.
Oh, don't worry, Pop. We'll call him over all right.
Sure, in a little while. Oh, Will.
What are you doing, Dopey?
I'm just rehearsing my part.
That's enough of that nonsense. Now, let's cut it out.
Would you just tell us where the bucket is, Pop?
Well, the bucket is out in the garage. But wait a minute now, fellas. It's not for getting people wet.
I think you're wrong, Pa. Haven't you heard the old song? The old soaking bucket.
Hey, where you been?
I've been trying to find these boards.
For 2 hours? Got a lot of help you are.
Okay, let's get started.
Get started. Are you kidding? Look, I already finished it.
Oh, boy. Hey, that's terrific. How does it work?
Well, see these strings here? We're going to attach them to a clothesline, then the clothesline will run across here and attach to the garage. Then somebody will come walking by and trip on it.
Say Will Thornberry, for instance?
See here, you pull these strings and watch what happens.
Oh,
Now we needed some water and we're all set.
yeah, that's terrific. I can hardly wait. Oh, Will.
Oh, will you, Ricky? We're not ready for him yet.
Yeah, but I can hardly wait.
Well, control yourself and get some water in the pail over there by the garage.
Yeah, there's just one thing, though. What are all those bells doing up there?
That's just for good sportsmanship. Give a guy a fair warning. Now get the water, will you?
What are you doing with that pail? Pail? Do I look pale? Now, you know what I'm talking about. That pail you're holding behind your back. Hey, what do you know? A pail. I thought I told you boys to forget about that booby trap business. Where's David? David? What David? Now, how many Davids do you know? Well, there's David Copperfield, David and Goliath.
All right.
I'm talking about David Nelson, booby trapper.
What's going on here?
I think the boys are fixing up that booby trap.
Well, now, Rick, I told you guys not to play that trick on Will. Where's David?
Well, he took it on the limb. Limbs.
Now, let's stop this nonsense. Where's David?
Well, I'm up here, Pop.
Oh, for goodness sakes, what are you trying to do? Break your neck? Get down out of there.
What are you doing up there anyway, Dave?
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Isn't this a nice, friendly group?
Well, actually, we have one missing link. He'll be swinging down any minute now.
Hello, Mrs. Henderson.
Take it easy now, Dave.
Well, for goodness sake.
Hi.
Hello. What were you doing up there?
I'm almost ashamed to tell you, Marion. They were
Dave,
rigging
pick
up
that
some sort of
junk
a
and take
trick
it
for
back to
Will
the garage,
Thornberry.
will you?
Oh, well, boys will be boys.
Help him, Rick.
I thought Will was your best friend, David.
So did I.
Gosh darn Will Thornberry.
Seems that Will Thornberry's having a birthday party and he didn't invite the boys.
They aren't even sure it is a birthday party.
We saw the cake, Mom.
I hope he swallows a candle. All right, you pick up the boards in this pail and you take them into the garage and then you go over and talk to Will about it. Gosh darn Will Thornberry.
Boys seem to think they ought to be invited to everything that goes on in this neighborhood.
I don't know why they're making such a big fuss about it.
Well, you know, boys will be boys.
Sometimes children are much more sensitive about those things than grown-ups are.
I think you're right.
Although, my little girl Edith wasn't invited to the party, and she hasn't said a word.
Well, I think the reason our boys are so upset is because they're such good friends of Will's.
Well, Edith is in the same class as Will, and she invited him to her birthday party. Very funny that she wasn't invited to his.
Oh, well, there's probably some good reason for it.
Well, I don't know what it would be. Why wouldn't he invite her?
Well, maybe it's just going to be a small family party.
A family party for a little boy? I never heard of such a thing. Well, Edith had at least 20 children at her birthday party.
Well, are you sure Will was there?
Why, sure. He ate 4 dishes of ice cream and 3 pieces of cake.
Well, it could be that Will forgot to invite Edith.
Well, that's a fine thing to come to Edith's birthday party and not invite her to his.
Well, I wouldn't worry too much about it.
There must be some explanation.
That gosh darn Will Thornberry.
you just about ready?
Oh, hi, Mom. Guess what?
You saw Will Thornberry.
Yeah, and he invited us to his party.
Well, isn't that nice? I thought there was some mistake.
It's not until next Tuesday.
Now, aren't you glad you didn't declare war on him until you found out what the real story was?
Yeah, I sure am.
I'm just glad we didn't set that booby trap.
Oh, back to some boys?
Oh, hi,
Hi,
Pop.
Pop.
Did you hear the good news?
What news is that?
Will Thornberry invited us to his party on Tuesday.
Oh, what did I tell you? Will wouldn't give a birthday party without inviting his best friends.
Yeah, good old Will Thornberry.
Good old ice cream and cake.
Aren't you guys ashamed of the way you treated poor Will? Imagine setting up that booby trap to try and douse your best friend. You didn't really think he'd have a party and not invite you guys, did you?
I don't know about David, but he sure had me worried.
I'm glad everything worked out well. Probably have a wonderful time at the party. Oh, I do think that cake is going to be a little stale by Tuesday night, don't you think so?
What cake is that, Pop?
You know, the cake you saw at the bakery, the cake for the party.
Oh, that one. That's for the party tonight.
But you said it was for the Thornberrys.
Yes, sir.
Well, are you sure Will's party isn't tonight?
No, the cake isn't for Will's party. It's for Mr. Thornberry's party. Whose party?
Mr. Thornberry, the father of the boy next door.
But it can't be. I wasn't invited. I mean, are you positive about this, boys?
Yes, sir. Mrs. Thornberry told us herself.
I don't understand. How could Thorny do this to me, his best friend?
What's the matter, Pop?
No, nothing. And, David.
Yes, sir?
Do you happen to know what you did with that big, water tub that...
Hi, Pop.
Oh,
How about playing some football with us?
Oh, no thanks, Dave. Not right now. I'm busy.
It looks like you're just sitting.
Well, I'm busy, sitting.
Well, you said you'd play some football with us.
Well, I know. I'm sorry, but I'm just not in the mood for it.
You mad at us?
No, of course not. Just that the ingratitude of some people really amazes me. I don't understand how certain so-called friends can be so thoughtless.
We forgive you. You don't have to play football with us.
No, I was referring to somebody else, a certain neighbor of ours.
You mean Mr. Thornberry?
I'd rather not mention any names, David.
Yes, sir.
Hey, if you play football with us, you can kick the ball through his window.
Sorry, Ricky, I couldn't do that.
Who knows? You might get lucky.
That's not what I mean. It's funny how some people turn out to be fair-weather friends.
What's a fair weather friend, Pop?
Oh, that's a person who's your friend when it's nice and sunny, but if it starts to rain, look out, you can borrow somebody else's umbrella.
You borrowed Mr. Thornberry's umbrella last year.
Yeah, it's still in the hall closet.
I was only giving an example of a fair-weather friend. Means a person whose friendship you just can't depend on.
Is Mr. Thornberry a fair weather friend?
Well, unfortunately, David, he seems to be.
Maybe he's out of umbrellas.
This has nothing to do with umbrellas, Ricky. Mr. Thornberry's giving a party, and of all people, his best friend, his lifelong pal, isn't invited.
You said parties weren't very important.
Yes, I know, Ricky.
You said not to get sore about it.
Yes, I know, David.
You said...
Oh, all right, that's enough. I said. Doesn't anybody else ever say anything around here?
I do, but nobody ever listens to me.
This happens to be an entirely different situation. Children are inclined to overlook their friends. That's all right, but there isn't any excuse for an adult to do it. Conduct like Mr. Thornberry's is ridiculous coming from a full-grown man. Just childish.
Why don't you go over and ask Mr. Thornberry about it?
David, if Mr. Thornberry doesn't want to invite me to his party, I'm certainly not going to beg him.
Oh, you don't want to go to his party anyway, Pop.
You just eat a lot of ice cream and cake and make yourself sick.
Party, boys. I don't care about the party. Thing that hurts is I'm completely forgotten after all I've done for Mr. Thornberry.
Like what, Pop?
Well, I don't keep a list, David, but believe me, I've done plenty of things.
You borrowed his umbrella.
Mainly, I've been a good and true friend. You remember I invited him to my birthday party.
Should we hate Mr. Thornberry from now on?
No, of course not. This isn't any of your worry. Whatever my feelings are, they don't concern you guys.
Well, I kind of like him, Pop, if that's all right.
Yes, certainly, David. You boys are entitled to your own opinions.
Hey, here comes Mr. Thornberry now.
Oh, I'll let him in.
Here, let him in, David.
He's probably come over to borrow some chairs or some dishes or something.
Hi, Mr. Thornberry.
Mr. Thornberry.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Rick.
Pop's right there.
Oh,
in the
Pop,
den.
Mom left some cookies on the plate here for you.
Oh, thank you, David.
Thank you, David. Say, these cookies really look delicious.
Did you get anything to eat at your house?
Well, sure, Oz, but no one makes cookies like Harriet. Well, don't you want any? Here, have one.
You sure you can spare this?
Well, sure, Oz. There's plenty there for both of us. Help yourself.
Very nice of you to share my cookies with me.
Yeah, I think so. People are always taking advantage of my generous nature.
By the way, do you have any plans for this evening?
No, nothing special. Probably stay home and catch up on our reading.
I think I'll be home myself. I may go to bed early tonight. That is, if there isn't too much noise around the neighborhood.
I'll try to turn the pages quietly. Oh, don't you have any more cookies?
No, thank you. You already gave me one. Besides, I don't happen to be very hungry.
Gee, that's a shame.
Go ahead, you can have some more if you'd like.
Oh, Oz, I don't want them all, but gee, they are pretty good.
You know, it seems a shame to spend a beautiful night at home, and I have a feeling tonight's going to be a very nice night.
Oh, I don't know. I enjoy it once in a while.
I was just thinking it's too bad somebody isn't giving a party tonight. Somehow I just feel like going to a party tonight.
Party?
Simply, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be pretty nice.
I love parties.
I thought so. I've read this book before. Gee, don't you have any new comic books around here? Oh, well, doesn't matter. Think I'll be going.
Just a second, Thorny. You left a few crumbs on the plate.
Wait a minute. Second thought, I think I will take them. I think I'll dump them right here in my pocket, and I'll nibble on them on the way home.
Oh, hi, Pop.
Oh, hi, Dave.
What are you doing up here?
Going to make out a list of all the things that Mr. Thornberry has borrowed from us and hold them to a strict accounting.
Didn't he invite you to his party?
He didn't even mention the party. Just sat down there stuffing himself on our cookies and reading up all your comic books. Let's see. Things that Mr. Thornberry has borrowed from us.
Garden rake.
That's right. He borrowed our garden rake.
No, Pop, you borrowed his. It's in our garage.
Well, take it back to him, Dave. I don't want any of his things around here.
Should we take back his umbrella, too, Pop?
Yes, take back everything that belongs to him.
How about his toolbox?
Everything. I wish he wouldn't clutter up our garage with all his junk.
Shall we take back his wheelbarrow?
Yes. No, on second thought, we'll keep the wheelbarrow. We'll need it to bring back all the stuff that he's borrowed from us.
So far, there hasn't been anything.
So many things, I just can't think of them at the moment. Let's see. Yes, he borrowed a pencil.
A pencil?
That's right. And make sure he sharpens it.
I'm going to feel awful silly bringing a pencil back in a wheelbarrow.
Oh, so here's where you're hiding.
Oh, hi. Where have you been?
Oh, I had a little shopping to do.
Pop's making a list of all the things that Mr. Thornberry's borrowed.
Never mind, Rick.
So far, he owes us a pencil.
He also has my rain hat. I remember he borrowed it one day when he couldn't find his umbrella.
What's this all about?
No, I might as well tell you. Do you realize that big bum Thornberry is giving a party tonight and hasn't even invited us?
Oh, I guess I better tell you. Catherine Thornberry wanted to keep it a secret, but I can't stand by and see Rimsky and Korsakov split up. Thorny doesn't know anything about the party.
What do you mean? He's giving the party.
No, dear, Catherine's giving the party, and we're all invited. It's a surprise anniversary party.
A what?
A surprise anniversary party. You know Thorny's memory. So far, every wedding anniversary has been a surprise to him. So this year, Catherine's giving him a surprise party.
Oh, Harriet, this is awful when I think of the terrible things I said to the poor guy. Gosh, how am I going to make this up to him?
Let him keep the pencil.
Oh, and by the way, Catherine had the bakery deliver the cake here so that Thorny won't see it.
Oh, cake? Where is it?
It's in the kitchen, but don't you touch it.
Oh, Harriet, what do you think I am, a child? Come on, folks, let's go down and take a look at it. Oh, boy, will you look at that?
Boy, isn't that a beauty?
Hey, Ricky, don't do that.
I'm just tasting the candles.
Now that you mention it, it is kind of a strange thing for them to put the candles on so soon. They usually put them on at the last minute. Maybe we better take the candles out. Certainly is delicious cake. It's very rare that a cake will look so good and also taste so good. Do you know, in the old days, when they baked a cake for the king, they'd always have an official taster. And he'd take a slice of the cake and taste it just to make sure that it wasn't poison.
Yeah, that's a good excuse, Pop.
Who needs excuses? I'll get the...
No, wait a minute. You're not going to slice up this beautiful cake. However, I do think it'd be perfectly all right if we each took just one little dab off the edge of one of those rosebuds.
Hey, Pop, I thought you said just one dab.
Well, I'm just straightening out the edge here. Anything I can't stand is an untidy cake. There's one thing that worries me, though. Well, Thorny comes in the kitchen here so often. It'd be awful if he came in and discovered this.
How about putting it in the garage?
No, that would be sort of unsanitary. Say, the station wagon's out there. I think I'll put it in the back of the station wagon. Open the door, Dave. Rick, wipe your face off a little way. I want your mother to see you with cake on your face.
Trap. I didn't set it, Pop.
Neither did I.
Well, then who did?
I did. As I saw that bakery truck deliver that cake to your house. What's the big idea having a party and not inviting me?
Gosh, Thornberry.
Was played by Joan Shaw Lee. forget that a completely different episode of The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet is heard every Friday night on radio. Consult your newspaper for time and radio station.